everyone, it's Joy here. Welcome back to my channel for another video from my Handmade Christmas with Joy series. And today I made some more Christmas holiday treat packaging. So I'm going to be placing a cookie in this. We're going to make 2 more of these and they're super quick and easy to make. So I'm starting with some 12 by 12 patterned paper from Lawn Fawn. These measurements are 6 inches by 12 inches. You're going to score at the 6-inch mark and then fold there. I want the stripe side out, but it's double-sided, so you have the pretty inside, and we're going to let that peek through with this die cut here. This is from scrapbook.com. This is the Slim Borders die. I'm taping it in place. It's going to cut the front and back piece of the packaging, which is what I want because I'm going to use both of these little scalloped edged pieces. I'm going to tape this down and do the second one. I'm going to run this through my die cut machine, and because the pattern paper is not thick, it cuts through both layers super easy. I've also trimmed out some pieces of this cardstock. So I have a green, a teal, and a red piece that's the polka dot side. And I'm just going to alternate those colors on these little packaging pieces because I want to add a little extra pop of color. I'm also using my tool-in-one to pop out those little holes. And then we can start getting the front of our package together. I wanted the top of the package to have a scalloped edge, and so the front is going to be the only part that has a scalloped edge. The back will not. I've added some liquid glue, and as you can see, I've turned that scallop around so that way the stripe is on the inside and the polka dot is facing out. Then I have 1/8 inch Scor-Tape that I'm going to place down on both sides, and you do want it to be really, depending on the size of your cookie, you want it to be kind of thin. I'm going to remove the release paper, but I'm also going to add some liquid glue, just little dots of it. The Scor-Tape is going to hold it in place really well, and then you're going to have the added strength of the liquid glue, which you want because if you're putting a cookie in here, it's going to pull on the paper, and you just want to make sure your packaging is good and secure. So on the teal packaging here, I am going to add a stripe of green. I think this was about 1 inch wide or 1/2 inch wide. I'm going to tape that down. I can just trim that excess off. And then I have my other little scalloped edge die that we die cut when we die cut both pieces at the same time. And I'm going to put that polka dot side up, and I'm going to butt that up right against that green stripe, or green strip of paper, excuse me. Now we have this really pretty but simple edge, front edge to your packaging. Let's do the second one. We're going to repeat that. So again, adding a little bit of glue at the top edge of the front of your packaging, turning the scallop around so that way you have this contrast on the front. So the polka dot is in the front, the stripes are towards the back. Then the 1/8 inch Scor-Tape on the sides, and I'm just putting it on the back piece right to the edge. And then once I peel that release paper back, I'm going to add dots of liquid glue. I don't want to cover the whole thing in liquid glue because then your tape isn't going to touch your cardstock. And then I'm just going to fold that over and press it down, and we have our little closed area. So it's closed on the bottom and the sides. Then we have the red piece that I'm going to add here. Trim the excess off, and then I can add my last little green scallop. Now I already did the red and white striped one. You saw that at the beginning. It was my sample piece. I don't tend to usually do a sample piece first, but I really needed to make sure that this was going to fit the cookie that I made. My cookie is a sandwich cookie, so it's pretty thick. So if you have smaller cookies or thinner cookies, you definitely could fit more in here. Then we've got these big, beautiful stamps from Tim Holtz and Stampers Anonymous. This is the Bold Tidings 3. I'm going to ink it up and stamp it with black ink. I want the sentiment to be loud and proud. So I am going to ink that up, making sure I get a nice, good, even inking on the front. And if you're doing mass production for this, I would say just use one sentiment and pop this all in. This is a really fast project. It's super quick and easy to do these. It really didn't take me too long at all. But as far as the sentiment goes, I would just use one. That way you don't have to spend the time lining all of them up. Now I want to add a little tag to this. This is a rectangle die from Lawn Fawn. I don't remember the name of it, but I will have it linked for you below. And I am die cutting out 3 pieces, well, 2 here because I've already done my other one, so I can have a cute little tag that hangs off the side of this. And the tags are darling. I'm going to be using the Honeybee Stamps Tag Your It Holidays. I'm going to use a hole punch. I want to punch my hole first and then do my sentiment because I want to make sure that I have room for the hole and I don't, you know, have to hole punch the sentiment. I'm going to use black and red ink. On the back, I'm using the word from, so you can just write who it's from. And then on the front, we're going to stamp a little message. And as you can see, I have all of my sentiments on acrylic blocks. This just goes faster this way. This says, do not open until, and I'm going to stamp that in black ink. And then the next sentiment, I'm going to stamp in red ink. So it just has a little extra something. And it says, do not open until December 25th, which I think is really, really cute. Even though everyone is going to eat their treats before then. But you know, it's a cute sentiment. So this is how your cookie fits in here. I would absolutely say wrap these cookies in plastic. I just didn't just for this video. Or if you're going to give them immediately, then you could just pop it in there. I'm going to tie some twine around this, but the cookies that I made are super delicious cookies. These cookies are actually made from a cake mix, but this is an apple pie cookie. It has apple pieces in here and it tastes like apple pie. And then the filling is a cinnamon toffee buttercream, and I made some homemade toffee to put inside. So it has a nice little crunch. They are super delicious, pretty rich. So really one cookie is like eating 2. But they're pretty thick because it has all of that filling inside, and the cookies are, you know, a good size. So I've tied with some of this. I think this is the aquamarine hemp cord. I think that's what it is from Lawn Fawn. But again, I'll have that linked below for you guys. So I'm kind of changing up the colors here. So I'm matching my twine to that little alternate piece of cardstock. So this one will have the red and white red and white twine wrapped around. I will say, put your treat inside before you tie your string. I was concerned that, sorry about my head, I was concerned that if I tied it when there was not the cookie or whatever in there, that it would be too tight and the paper wouldn't expand and I couldn't get my treat inside. And so I wouldn't want to have to untie everything. So I am putting my treat in there. I am putting my sentiment through the string, wrapping it around twice. I want it to cross over a little bit, and then I'm tying my bow on top. I'm also adding a little bit of clear glue on top of the knot of the bow because I don't want it to come untied for any reason. So just a little tiny bit, a little dot of clear glue just to kind of hold that in place. So again, I wrapped that around twice. I put the tag on. I always end up having way too much extra string left over. And then I'm just going to trim that off. And look at how cute this is. And then you have a nice little bow there. A little bit of that clear glue. Let's take a look at these really quick up close. These are perfect, easy, quick, great for mass producing, but fun packaging for Christmas trees that you can give to your neighbors or family or friends. Thank you guys so very much for stopping by and watching. I hope that you enjoyed this project, and I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. Bye.